Well, good morning. I'm Jim Brey. I direct the education program for the American Meteorological Society. And I'm here this morning to tell you a little bit about some of our efforts directed at raising climate literacy. Our aims are certainly broader than that, in that we're looking for better, sort of more broad environmental literacy, but a good portion of that involves climate. We have a fairly tight mission, and it's tight because we have to get the most bang for the buck. The days of the $5 million NSF grants are gone. We're always scrambling for federal funding, particularly to do our professional development opportunities for teachers. We've got a variety of programs, some of which I'll talk about today. We have spun off some innovative undergraduate course packages, which we license for a small fee and then generate a revenue stream from the book sales. And that helps sustain the opportunities for teachers. One of the things we do for the teachers is give them 3 free graduate credits upon completion of the course. And that is an expensive business. So to have a revenue stream, in fact, turned out to be very lucky because we were essentially defunded by NOAA from our efforts for 2 of these programs, but we'll be able to continue because of the revenue stream from books. Of course, we have a good science brain trust ourselves within our membership, but we also get to meet a lot of people that adopt our courses, teachers around the country, and we try to develop partnerships among institutions and individuals. Sort of making the connection is a very exciting part of our work, and we want to raise that overall scientific literacy. Today I want to talk about DataStreme, and DataStreme is sort of our big effort to gain literacy of America's teachers. Our particular climate endeavor is Earth's Climate System. It's a Earth System science-based course dealing with the Earth's climate. We also have a weather course and an ocean course that have considerable amounts of climate in them. We also have a couple of versions of DataStreme Earth's Climate System. NSF gave us some additional money to do a bit of an experiment, and we have continued that even though the funding is gone. And then we did a major external evaluation of the DataStreme program with very favorable results. AMS Climate Studies is our course for undergrads, and that, I think, has made a pretty significant impact, although it has grown more slowly than our weather and ocean courses. And then our diversity project tries to get these AMS discipline courses into minority-serving institutions with the help of NSF, NOAA, and NASA. And we also did a little foray into paleoclimate that I'd like to talk about. The DataStreme project, we have the basic 3 courses. We had one called Water in the Earth System, which was a really dynamite course, but we lost funding for it, so we had to discontinue. We couldn't get it picked up by very many colleges and universities in 2001 because everything was very siloed. I think it would do better now, and we're looking for funding to resurrect it. The DataStreme courses are distance learning courses that are more on the hybrid model. The people take the course online, but they gather usually 3 times per semester, usually over a meal, to exchange best practices among the teachers. The local implementation teams typically involve a operational scientist, maybe somebody from a weather service office, usually a university representative, a professor of geography or atmospheric science, something like that. Sometimes a state climatologist. We have one in the room. And we also have a trained teacher, a master teacher that helps the people through the course. It's a regular college course, graduate course that emphasizes content, but also some of the pedagogy. It's got a textbook, kind of a lab manual, and the website. The teachers get 3 free graduate credits from SUNY Brockport, and the teachers then have an obligation to do peer training within their district, so there is a multiplier effect. We don't create anything for kids. This is all adult education, but a lot of the materials are sort of translated to discipline-specific or age-specific items that the teachers do use in their classroom. So we develop the materials, then the teams get together and recruit the teachers and mentor the teachers through the course, with the online content being corrected by the mentors. They interact with the teachers usually once a week via email or phone, and then they also meet with the in-person meetings. We have a couple of these that are working totally online just because they're in low population density areas. And then the teachers and others, the teachers share this with the people around them, hopefully to sort of spread the word. We've got some novel things. Most of our investigations deal with real-world, real-time kinds of things, news events that come up, sometimes countering a denier, press release, something like that. We also developed the DataStreme Earth's Climate System Conceptual Energy Model. We did this in-house with our people, but then we took it over to Steve Ackerman and Tom Whitaker at UW-Madison, and they put it into HTML5, and it's kind of game-like, but it tells a lot of the background to how climate models work and gives a real good insight in terms of radiation budgets. We also very much encourage the teachers, particularly those on the upper level, to learn and begin using EdGCM. This has turned out to be a very marvelous model. Some teachers like it, some teachers don't, but even though maybe 10 or 20% of the teachers actually really get into this, that really makes an impact, because those that get into it really get into it. They have their students working with it, and it works very, very well. The special model that NSF basically bought actually focused on minority serving districts and places that had some kind of a climate peril, and on a regional level, and we also kind of tweaked the goal of this to have the people, the teacher participants, act in their role as community leaders, and they actually went out and gave workshops to the community, which was a really exciting thing. We've continued this model even though the funding has gone away. The DataStreme has proven very effective. I really can't go into too much detail because I'm kind of running out of time here, but we did evaluate it quite well. It was an external evaluation. NOAA also did their own external evaluation. The teachers as a whole felt very good about the course. They liked the science content, but a surprising result was that on the pre-test, post-test, they seemed to be coming to us with the knowledge. They didn't increase as much in their knowledge after taking the course as they did with the weather and the ocean course, and we're still exploring why that happened. These are some of the key findings. They felt that it helped strengthen their science background, made them more confident, made them prepared to teach their peers. We put some emphasis in their plan of action and how they should share this. Over the years, DataStreme, all of the courses have an impressive result of over 18,000 teachers earning these free credits. These are people that pass the course. But in the latter years, we haven't had much growth because we have had difficulty with funding this, even though book sales has increasingly been able to pick up some of the slack. Our undergraduate courses do generate some revenue, and maybe more importantly, we get these disciplines into places that do not have these courses typically. These are small liberal arts colleges very often, community colleges, minority serving institutions, and these are places where kind of a turnkey course package is very much welcomed because they can either start a program or increase what they offer in an environmental science program. And it really is a wide array of things that the professor can use, and then the professor designs their course around this. The course is given for local college credit. And our climate studies is one of 3 courses that we offer. we focus on the science, but also some of the societal impacts. We don't necessarily duck the denier aspect. In fact, we use that sometimes in the labs, but we present it pretty much as a straight science discourse. Our current version of this probably has a little bit too much weather in. NASA paid for this, and they wanted a lot of weather background. We're in the process of changing the textbook to take some of that weather out and put more of the social science kind of aspects in. But we've had over 80 institutions license it since we began, and they've used it in a variety of ways. These are some of the resources we use. We try to make sure that this is really up to date. We generate new activities every week during the fall and spring, which we put on our website that the students then work with. So we really can take advantage of real recent science. We also have a kind of a current events thing that comes out weekly, the weekly climate news, that also provides a lot of vetted materials that are on the web that we have a scientist look over and put together. And so that aspect is very, very easy for a professor to bring in. They don't have to search all of this themselves. They don't have to spend a lot of time evaluating whether or not they want to use this with their students. Our diversity projects is a special mission of AMS. We know that there are issues with a lack of diversity in the pipeline for workers in our disciplines. And we had a very successful weather studies diversity project at the National Weather Service Training Center. And then our ocean studies diversity project was at PMEL and Northwest Fisheries and the University of Washington. And we effectively got professors at minority serving institutions trained up and fired up to offer our courses in their schools. And in the case of most of them, most of those courses once introduced have stuck. And of course that's a real nice thing because they didn't have a course in these fields. We have recently got NSF funding for a climate version of this, and we've had 2 workshops now. Again, some of you in the room have participated as speakers or in other ways with this. This is proving to be as successful as the weather and ocean ones, and it's generating a great deal of excitement. We have the workshops in DC for a week in May, and then we bring the faculty participants back for the AMS annual meeting so that they get kind of recharged again in terms of preparing for this course, interacting with others that have successfully offered it, and sharing with us any problems that they may have with course or course materials. The Paleoclimate Workshop was our attempt to ratchet it up a little bit by including some more upper-level material. We worked with Ocean Leadership, James Madison University, Los Angeles Valley College, to train up a bunch of minority serving institution faculty on analyzing ocean sediment cores. And we took them down to the Texas A&M core repository and gave them an intensive week of training in this. And that turned out to be really, really exciting for them. They learned a lot. We were going to use this planning workshop to ratchet up to a Track 2 OEDG grant from NSF, but they pulled the solicitation, and now they've eliminated the opportunities for enhancing geoscience education for minorities. They pulled the whole thing with their reorganization, so we don't know what will happen. But the plan was to get these professors out on the JOIDES resolution during a tie-up or a short expedition to do this training at sea. Some future things, we have had more than 18,000 teachers trained through the DataStream. We've also had a very large number of college institutions, many who did not have a course on the books before, adopt our courses. We want to resurrect that water course. We're also exploring some novel ways to get our message across, ratcheting up our use of social media, new connections and collaborations with social scientists, emergency managers for the weather, going along with Weather Ready Nation, a NOAA initiative. And we've even started working more with informal educators and even artists. We are very intrigued by the interface of art and science. So these are some of the things we do. These are our acknowledgments for our funding. Unfortunately, some of what looked like long-term funding has kind of evaporated, so we're really scrambling around to see how we can keep this alive and find additional or new funding sources. And these are all our supporters and partners for all of us. We are a silver sponsor of the American College and University President's Climate Commitment, and we work with the organization Second Nature to actually further this commitment as well. So if you have any questions, I'll be around. I do have some brochures dealing with our programs that I'll put on the table out there in the front you can pick up. And if anybody's interested in perhaps evaluating our course material for course adoption, please let me know. I'll get that sent off to you right away. Thank you.